Hey, good morning. I thought I feel things, right? And particularly after I watch videos in the morning that I'm prompted to watch for, um, it's like experiencing what the truth is. Um, so I wanted to make this short. There actually is a method when we communicate why there are only a given, why the information that unpacks or unfolds that we share with others. If you want to think of it as a sequence or a time frame or an event, when you're an experiencer, because we learn through experience in our mirror what we experience as a result therein. So I've always mentioned in the past when I work with children is understanding how magnets and mirrors work, because a mirror is a gate. Your own gate. Wow. Move through the gate. Move through your gate. So I've always known this since I was 4 years of age, because I acknowledged immediately that I was on a fallen spiritual system. I was on a spiritual battlefield. And the reason that you know that is because you're experiencing eternal unconditional love through your own heart. I'm a monopole. Okay, so that means a polarity integrator, which means my primary mission is to pull in fragmented souls as a result of what? Fragments, loss of fractals. Which means your power is being drained. You're losing power somewhere, right? So now we're back into magnets. The power of your magnet, the power of your spirit, the power of your energy, right? And so you get into earth, wind, water, and fire, right? So you realize that when you're purifying your spirit is purifying your light, which is the purity of your heart and your soul, which is the purity of your energy, clean, burning energy, which means we don't experience no parasites feeding on our magnets. If you will, a planet ship, a star, using stars' energy to wage wars, which are directed energy weapons, against other stars or star beings. In other words, other spirits with souls that exist in other star systems. Okay? That's obviously a much larger discussion. So as a child, if I am free, if I am a free spirit, I naturally do not hold other energy captive. You're free to go. I'm a free spirit, you're a free spirit. Because you're not lacking any energy to be free. The same as I'm not lacking any energy to be free, because I am what love is. Because I'm forever gifting love energy. Because your soul, my soul, chose to do that. And that is to make that decision. In other words, the universe of consciousness, an oversoul, for example, I'm an oversoul. So therefore, I serve forever on behalf of all creation. That is the energy that we use to create what we thus experience in real time, which means no time at all. Because the speed at which you're experiencing, which is known as the frame rate, is moving so fast, you're not simulating anything. You're in dreamland, which means there is no unconscious mind, because you're not running on RAM. You're running on the energy that you're using to create what you thus experience in your mirror, because your magnet is running that fast. So the video that I watched this morning had to do with the Big Island. What do you got here on the Big Island? 5 magnets. And he was mentioning how, like, when I first came here to this island, even though I was on the island of Kauai in 72 and 73, to do the work that I was doing there, right? So if you want to think of like burning something from the inside out, which is burning up lines of communication between star systems that are using this planet for all that discussion with the pyramids and Giza and all the rest of that. Grid mechanics, gate mechanics, gate operators. You know what a gate operator is, right? A gated Y, right? 1 into 3, one becomes 3. Start with 1, 2 more, 1 and 3, 3 and 1, tri-wave, right? I'm 1, monopole, which means it starts with me, which means it starts with love, which goes on forever. So when you're a monopole, it means the magnets become 1, which is cold and hot. Cold water, hot water, right? Cold as ice. right? How cold can we get it? Now you're into cryogenics, right? And well, how hot can it get? On the thermal expansion side, so now you're into thermal gradients. So I certainly covered all that, what I learned through experience, right? So now we're into learning how fast we're learning. Is how fast the spin of our magnet is in being able to run what we call the hot mirror. How hot is your mirror, right? Which is how hot is your gate, which is how hot are you vibrating in order to get through a gate. Because if you can't get through a gate, the spirit falls by soul. So now we're back into learning in classrooms. So I've known this, and I've mentioned this throughout other Hawaiians or Arcturians. There's another Arcturian in the house with his son. And so nobody should be surprised as why we've known this. These particular islands were known as the Draco Stronghold, Anunnaki Strongholds, for obvious reasons. These are all paradise islands because the energy is so high here. Now, if you want to throw some science into this, you can think, well, what is phytoplankton? You know, you're in the middle of the deep blue Pacific, right? And the Pacific was always translated as the calm blue waters of the Pacific, right? So as above, so below. That's why you blue skies, right? The blue ocean, blue skies, sky woman. Okay. So the phytoplankton are big what? O2 producers. And the big mirrors on the planet are the trees, the breathers. Now you're into the oxide side of things, right? So this planet used to be 21% oxygen, which is 3 again. Right? Wow. The breath of aloha, which is the living breath of what love is. The breath of living spirit, which is the Father, breathing with the Mother into the Spirit, right? So now you're joined as one between the Father and the Mother. You become one, and that's what I am, which is androgynous, which is otherwise known as perfect balance between the two magnets, because the magnets have joined to become one with all creation that we gift love to forever. So that's what I am. So that's what I share with all the others. See, so you can imagine what this is. I've experienced before as a kid growing up. I'm not what you are. I am what I am. It's like breaking the mold, which means you're a free spirit. So I'm free as a musician, as an artist, in order to manifest what I thus experience by virtue of being an eternal being upon which it happens. Because it means that wherever love is, you'll find us in living spirit. Forever. So you're a forever being. So that's why I always would sign my letters to girls I grew up with. I will love you forever and always. Always is the 4 arrows on the compass. The sphere, the center point of a sphere, which is the center point of a cell, which is the center point of a biosphere. Or a planet ship, any galaxy, actually. So that allows us to be able to go anywhere throughout the multiverse and do what? Tune in the balance of the waves so that they have a clear channel. There's a clear channel opening, which means wherever we are, you're going to experience what love is. That's the gift of being an eternal being and choosing to be an eternal being, which is an eternal server. Right? I used to say this to my grandmother. If I have to be the last little 4-year-old boy that's the last pole standing, that last pole still represents eternity, which means the universe will go on experiencing what love is. Therefore, what I experience is an eternal blessing, it's an eternal gift, it's eternal gratitude. Right? So when he mentioned the Big Island in particular, this is a big island to heal with, because when you're hypersensitive as a monopole, you realize being on this island, why it is the largest shield volcano. Shield, crystalline shield. Now you can get into DNA, seeded races, the DNA or the language of DNA, how the language communicates with other DNA, or the language in which stars communicate with other stars that are represented by other seeded races that are in those star spiritual systems. Now you scale it up from the star system or constellation into the galactic, then into the universal, then into the multiversal as a communications platform. So now you begin to realize, wow, we can communicate with everything that is experiencing itself, being what love is. Well, if it started with the one, yeah. Which is known as the law of one. Which means father and mother joined as one. Gifting love forever throughout all creation. Which means everything that gets created by us is going to be what we are, which is what love is. So we experience love wherever we go, in the mirror. So that which is in our mirror is experiencing what we are, which is what love is. So they're being loved by us. See? Now they're experiencing who we are. So now we can experience who they are. So now we're back to what I said as a child. I'm not supposed to experience anything less than eternal love no matter where I go, because that's what I am. So now we're measuring everything that isn't experiencing what that is. Right? So when I was growing up as a child, it's like there's your free will and my free will. I'm not going to impose my will on you, so you're free to go. So now we get into the feedback. Now we're back to the speed of the magnets. So now you know you're in a fallen system because the motor's slowing down. That means the bioplasma is slowing down. That means that the immune system is now being affected, right? So now if you want to heal, you want to be on faster magnets. And that's why this island has always been known as a healing island, because you can tap into some very powerful energies. But there's a flip side to that. Remember, we attract what we fear, and we'll attract what we love, what we give love to. So it's one of the reasons this island, the Big Island, is unforgiving. If you let's put it this way, when you're using your energy to do harm to others, it won't take long for you to lose your energy field. And the flip side of that is one of the reasons why I've experienced so much dark energy, if you will, shadow beings, spirits that want to go from vessel to vessel, body snatchers, vehicle snatchers, right? And so that's why this island had to be cleared, right? Because this is the largest shield volcano, for obvious reasons why that is. And that would include actually all these islands, because a lot of the Hawaiians that I've met, I met a guy named Clum. I can't remember his last name. He's on the island of Oahu. He used to go up into what was known as the Waimea Falls Cultural Center. That's where I met him. There's no coincidence there. We sat down and I talked to him how we sit in a council, which is a circle of light. We hold hands going heart to heart to heart. We go back into the deepest part of our soul, right, to experience eternal unconditional love through all of our hearts. That allows us from wherever we've been throughout the course of the day in order to transmute those energies that are lower frequency energies than what we're normally accustomed to experiencing, which is what love is. So we're transmuting that across time and space, vectors. Because being multidimensional beings, we can do that together by the intention of our energy, which is what love is, in order to do that, because now we're experiencing being one with all creation that we give love to. And we did that right down the road here at that little farm not too long ago with people I met from all over the world. And it's beautiful to be able to do that. So he remembered, oh, you teach through a circle of light. Yes, I seem to remember that. He said, you know what? Throughout my whole life, I haven't run into anybody that remembered something from my ancient spiritual knowledge. All of a sudden, wow. Circle of light teaching. Yeah. So you realize, because we talked about this, how these islands were visited by beings from all over the multiverse, because they were known as some of the most powerful classrooms to experience paradise, which is like nirvana, or if you will, wow. Because you're seeing not only how creative nature is with all the colors, the shape, and the form in which it's presenting itself, but the purity of the realm, which means the purity of the love, which is the purity of the energy, which is the purity of the spirits that are there, all dancing in harmony together to make it all happen. That you are now a part of that creation energy that is experiencing itself with the purest of love, which is the purest of light, that all the spirits are dancing together, which are harmonics. And the speed ratio harmonics are moving so fast because the spirits are dancing in energy that is vibrating at such a high rate of speed. You're experiencing eternity in that realm. That's right. Because no matter where you go, you're experiencing real, true, unconditional love that goes on forever, gifting energy. So you realize the energy that is what love is the energy that's vibrating in that realm that you're experiencing, which means you're free to go wherever you want to go. You lack nothing. That means you don't have to work. That means you don't need money, as a matter of fact. Because when you get into the money side of things, now you're getting into what we call the exchange rate between photons and electrons. Now you can measure the torque speed differential between the two magnets. Right? And why they wanted to change the grid and gate mechanics around. That's what a fallen system is. And so this is when you get into energy harvesting. That's what a fallen system is. So when powerful oversoul comes in here in order to get the drive motor up, that meant to try and pull the fragments in that have been lost, and people now begin to remember who and from whence they came, because it started with and began with what love is. Now you're experiencing love again. Whoa, now I remember who I am. That's called code transfers from the originals. Or otherwise ancestors, ancestral spirits that are awake. Psst, we never forgot who we are. We are what love is. It goes on forever, gifting everybody energy. Right? Yeah, so all I do is share my experiences, what I've learned. That's it. And then what others, because it's the simplicity of this is that I'm not what you are. All the others that are out there, that are in the universe, that are in my mirror, I'm not what they are. They are what they are. I am what I am. Right? But you're always, and this is the way I've always been it, an open universe, or because I've mentioned this before, my stereo receiver and transmitter. When you've chosen to serve forever to become a monopole, it means that your beacon is always on, which simply means that eternal light is always on. The eternal light is always on. We're always experiencing eternal light through our own heart and our soul. So you realize that you have, so therefore, infinite possibilities are possible to experience, because you realize the infinite creative side of how that much fire that is represented by the purity of that much light can create whatever it wants. Like dreamland in real time. Right? And I've had some very powerful dreams over the last night. I know that yesterday I was experiencing a lot of pressure changes in my ear. I got up this morning around 7:30, somewhere around there, and another guy that's in here said, "Did you feel the earthquake?" I said, "No, man, I was in dreamland." So I had a lot of powerful dreams last night, and then I noticed when I woke up this morning, I went back to sleep again. You know, processing an enormous amount of energies is what that means. You just slow it all down, slow the motor down up here, right? Just go into your heart, just feel a state of peace. Just let all the energies that are transmuting, right? So it's like getting rid of all the stuff. You know, I mean, I mentioned this before about trying to quantify the amount of stuff that a polarity integrator is going to experience that is like bringing everyone back into the one, so they experience the one, which means they're experiencing eternity, which means they're experiencing true love, which is pure unconditional love that goes on forever. Now they're experiencing in them what we experience in us, which is what love is. It goes on forever, gifting love energy, which means it's immediate, which means there is no time. There's only what love is. Love is what's real. So I've always known that since I was 4 years of age, and I don't budge off that, which means I know what I am in energy with my oversoul and my pole, right, is to pull the fragments in that have been lost as a result of trauma, right? That's aloha. So anyway, yeah. So this island is very, 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 very special. Not just in being able to come here and heal, right? On every level, actually. But because of what it means as the largest shield volcano on the planet, right? And why this place is just heaven. Paradise. And I've had the great honor and privilege of being able to meet a lot of people at different places that echo the same truth. We're living in paradise. You got everything that you need here. Yep. Mama gives us everything. Yep. Nature gives us everything. The great living spirit of Mother Earth, she gives us everything we need. When you have a relationship in spirit, which means your essence with her essence and her spirit, and you're experiencing her spirit with all the living spirits that are alive, we're alive. We are alive in spirit, absolutely. Have a great day.